Oh, they start talking now. Sorry, you guys. The Zoom just said this meeting is being recorded. Is that on your end or my end?
That's actually that's the new Zoom update. The new Zoom software update does it. Yeah.
Okay. She sounds a little nasally.
Not like the Siri woman from
I
Apple.
want Gerard Butler to say, darling, this meeting is being recorded. Okay, hey everybody, how you doing? And we got our guy Sterling, and I wanted to give you a heads up that I'll be gone for 2 Sundays, as you know, going to Sedona. And I wanted to give you the dates. The next Sunday I'll be home is June 13th. That's when we'll do Sterling again, but he has his show going on Sunday. Or you're gonna, it doesn't matter, you record your show.
Yeah, I know. I'll continue to do my shows on my channel, every Sunday going forward. So just important to mention that you'll be at your offsite having a great time in Sedona, and I'll be back in Los Angeles doing shows on Sundays.
Awesome. And so be sure to watch them. So they get their Sterling fix, right?
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
And also he hit 19. So I've got the person that won the free reading. I read her in June. She was all happy.
Well, I think you're referring. Maybe you said the audio came off. Maybe 16,000 subscribers we hit.
16,000.
Yeah, and now we're headed towards 17,000 subscribers. So when we reach 17,000, there'll be another giveaway.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to give you guys that it's true that I do a reading as well as you, right?
Exactly.
Free readings. Okay. All right. And listen, real quick, there's a client I had yesterday that begged me to do this, and I'm going to do this. Hello to Linda. Hey, girl. She was very nice. Okay. So from the other side, Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, do they have a message for us?
They do. And they're around this morning. And even right now, as we're talking now, what's interesting about their energy is that they were mother-daughter here when they were on the planet. But they were really like sister. They've been sisters in prior lives and very, very close. And in fact, they were talking, their life paths were so interconnected. As you know, they passed away a day apart, right? So it was a heart attack with Carrie Fisher, and then it was a stroke with Debbie Reynolds. Their life paths were so connected that a day apart is just amazing. But one of the things they were telling me is that one of the things they learned on their life path was all about how you define yourself as a human being. So obviously they were both in show business, and many of them for many years defined themselves by, what the public thought of them. And Carrie was saying that, for her, it was a struggle her whole life living under the shadow of her mother, Debbie. But it wasn't until she got Star Wars that she started to feel like, okay, well, maybe now I'm something.
Right.
But what's interesting, she had more success over the years, and Carrie did in other movies, but somehow always got identified with Princess Leia, with Star Wars. So something that always followed her around. So in a way that was a blessing and a curse, kind of thing, but she understood it. And Debbie was saying that one of the things she learned when she was here in life was that she trusted too many other people outside of herself. So not just to define her, but also like on the business side. So if she had things to do over again, there were a lot of things she entrusted a lot of people on the business side, like many stars do, and got led kind of down the wrong path. So really almost died penniless, not completely penniless, but it was a rough ride for her. But they both realized that on the other side that and they both wanted to leave a lasting legacy, bottom line. And they felt they did based on the movies, the shows they did, and also the way they led their lives and the way they exited as mother and daughter. So that was kind of, for them, that was like their gift to the world, is that the closeness they had in spirit, they still have on the other side.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, two very nice people.
Yeah, I've read all her books, or I like audio. And last book about her co-mate that she was involved with in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
She was still angry. I was very surprised. She came off extremely angry. I was surprised she was still at that point.
Yeah. One other thing I remember they told me, and they're reminding me of right now, was that Carrie was saying that, posthumously, a year after Carrie's death is when that next Star Wars movie came out for her. I think it was, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Last Jedi or something. But anyway, she was very happy about that. And then a year or two after that, they actually used old footage of her and some CGI to put her in another movie, another Star Wars
I
movie.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she was saying she was very tickled that, even after she passed, that she was kind of still in the movies. So
Right. And I hope they gave the portion from her to her estate towards her daughter.
yeah, I hope so too. I don't know where all that went, but that was those were Disney movies. So
Yeah,
all under Disney. Yeah.
that's great. Okay, what will be the long-lasting physical and mental effects of people getting COVID?
We've already seen some of these, and so here's the good news. I mean, there are some artifacts to long-term COVID which are about potential for blood clotting and breathing issues and fatigue. But the good news is that everything, my guides are telling me, everything that's being learned within this year, 2021, they're going to be able to integrate that into vaccines down the road, things that are going to lessen those long-term effects. So the good news is a lot of the artifacts and the symptoms people have are driving new research, and then vaccines coming will help correct those long-term problems.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Will the government announce the knowledge of UFOs this year? I think they're already doing that.
They are. And so you and I have talked about this many times on this channel, but I know for a fact that within a 5-year window from where we are right now, it's all going to be very commonplace that the public will understand what's going on. Regarding what's happening right now, it's been all over the news about this report that's coming out in, I think, less than 30 days now. But what I get on that's going to be heavily redacted. So the report's really going to indicate the different types of aerial phenomenon, spaceships, what types, but they won't go as far as to say they're completely aligned with these extraterrestrials. It's the Pleiades, it's the Greys. They're not going to go that far. So that's going to come down the road.
On my Destination X with my favorite guy, Josh Gates, he had a show last week. Very interesting. 2 naval men got to, I guess the government has taken a lot of this and said, speak freely. And they were on Navy ships and they were seeing hundreds of UFOs. And it was really weird because when they were talking about their size and stuff, I felt like they were those, what do you call those cameras that go up in the air?
Drones you're talking about?
I felt like they were like drones run by a master jet. That, like, you don't have actual aliens in them. But when the jets came to come see what the heck's going on, because they were all like, what is this? What is this? They saw in the ocean by Catalina Island, something bigger than a 747, a ship underneath the ocean that was lit. And those drone things came and then dived in with that ship.
Right.
And this is from Navy men that were there.
Yeah, and there's thousands and thousands of military sightings and records. It's very public. And in fact, there was a 60 Minutes report that was on a week or 2 weeks ago now.
I saw that, yeah.
And I put a link to that on my community board. But there are certain military people off the coast of San Diego that said, look, for 5 years, every day they went out on missions, they saw UFOs every day.
Wow.
So,
and they said just that one guy on the East Coast said I think it was 60 Minutes. He said it was just every day. They learned not to shoot at them now. Because in Vietnam, a group of men were shooting at it, and it took the same bullets and shot right back.
It does. It does. Going back 10 years or more, maybe it was even 15. I got to go back on the records, but there was a huge sighting over Phoenix in Arizona. And it was one of the huge triangular ships with lots of lights. And there were thousands of people that saw it, witnessed it, took pictures of it. And in the end analysis, the military said, we deny it. There was nothing there. I thought that particular incident of many, I thought, okay, that's going to break it open because everybody saw it.
Everybody.
The military said, you didn't see anything. So,
right, exactly. Exactly. It's like they're saying it was just tourists coming January 6th to the Capitol.
Right.
We have too many videos, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I think they said they were all tourists.
Yeah, they're all tourists. Will there be a new stimulus check before the end of this year?
Yes, I believe there will. I'm not sure it's going to be as high as $1,400 or something, but I think it's going to be 1,000 or 1,100. So there's going to be a stimulus check, and there's also going to be continued enhancement on employment. I still see that, even
Right.
though that's getting kicked around in Congress and government quite a bit. But I do see it continuing through 2021. Yeah,
And the Green New Deal is they're gonna put it through.
they will.
And let me tell you something, there is sort of a stimulus. Mothers with younger children are gonna start getting checks to help offset childcare.
Absolutely. That's all part of the big package that's going through right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
A recent study said that any amount of alcohol damages the brain and that no amount of alcohol is safe to consume. Is this true?
No, I get on that. Moderation in all things is the watchwords, like moderation in life and all things. And interestingly enough, what my guides tell me, actually, alcohol in small quantities actually helps blood flow and cardiovascular health. And in fact, we already know that they actually take some of the I forget what it's called. There's an element like in red wine they've reduced down to pills, and that they're very helpful to the body. So the answer to that question is moderation in all things is fine. Yeah.
Right. Well, the only time it affects the brain, I feel, is at a certain higher quantity. Like if
Yeah,
I drink a
absolutely.
lot,
Yeah.
if I drink a drink, I don't feel a thing, nothing. But I rarely drink, but I'll do it on special occasions. And I just
Mhm.
don't feel nothing. It's like it can't affect me anymore. Will this Supreme Court overturn Roe versus Wade? Good question.
I get no. I get in the end analysis they won't. There'll be lots of debate. But in the end, they won't, because predominantly it's not just the Supreme Court, but there's like a collective wisdom in the country that they're going to tap into a bit. Meaning, what's the collective wisdom in the country, and it's not going to get overturned. So.
Well, yeah, the collective amount of people more say they want it to be legal.
Right.
I
That's
just
what I'm
think
referring
they'll
to.
emphasize that we need more education. We need to definitely say that abortion should not really be used as a form of birth control. And that these men that get these women pregnant need to pay a price too.
Right. Right. By the way, I have to put a footnote here. It reminds me of Robin Williams was on the Tonight Show at one time, and he did a good joke about this. And I think Johnny said, "So how do you feel about Roe versus Wade?" And he said, "I prefer to swim." so, so it's a Robin Williams joke, a classic Roe versus Wade joke. But yeah,
I prefer to swim. I love it.
yeah,
Johnny loved him too. They
yeah,
busted.
he did.
Oh, I've never heard of this. Listen to this. Residents living in 5 counties in Oregon voted to become part of Idaho. Will this be passed by Congress?
No, no. And what I get on that is that they're going to have a bit of debate over that. Maybe the debate has already occurred, and then they're going to kill it off. So it's just kind of it's
Well,
an
if
interesting
people Idaho so
artifact.
much, move to Idaho. I don't understand.
Yeah, yeah. Not
Will
going to happen.
Republican Governor DeSantis of Florida win re-election next year?
No, I don't feel he will. And interestingly enough, I feel that it's like a female challenger that ends up winning.
Well, I love
So, what I'm getting here is almost like, it's more of a moderate Republican female that ends up winning. So it's better than what they have. Yeah.
it. Okay, great. Will Trump have a presidential library?
So presidential libraries, for the most part, are paid by like private contributions. So I do believe that there's going to be contributors that will help build the library. Here's where it gets kind of dicey. I don't believe it doesn't look like the federal organizations like the Presidential Group, Office of Libraries, they're not going to support it. So there'll be private donors that will help build it, but it won't get any kind of support or interaction from the federal groups that run presidential libraries.
Missouri Governor Mike Parsons said that the state was formally withdrawing from voter-approved Medicare expansion. Will there be consequences to the Republican Party in Missouri?
Yeah, there will be. So here's a couple of things. It won't be a landslide problem for them, and the reason being that there's a lot of GOP that still feel the election was stolen. So if you come from that basis, it does almost matter what you do, but it will push more people out of the GOP, more voters out of the GOP. But one of the things they're using for rationale, and I saw this in a news report, I think a few days ago, they're trying to say it was approved, but there's no resources to pay it. So they're playing a game.
Yeah.
Right? They're saying it got approved, but then they're saying on a local level, we have no resources to pay it. So,
Is our personality part of our soul?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what's interesting, there are some basic fundamentals to like personalities of a soul, like curiosity and humor. And I see that all the time. Like the group of guides and angels I work with have a great sense of humor. Yeah. They really do. Many times they'll play jokes on Linda. Linda will ask a question, they'll say something funny. Yeah, absolutely take elements of your personality with you. Absolutely.
Awesome. If we are all part of one life force, can we choose to become or incarnate as anything we want?
You can't. So here's the thing, everything runs off of energetic levels. And as you evolve through life and you reincarnate, you move through energetic levels. So you can't necessarily jump from being, let's say, who you are today to being an angel the next lifetime. You're going to have to evolve. Now, individual souls don't necessarily become angels anyway. But I'm just saying, by example, you have to kind of follow the energetic guidelines so you can reincarnate in different types of life streams and personalities and life lessons, but you can't do anything that's outside. You can't jump 10 levels energetically. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes total sense. Will they do away with visas to enter countries?
No, but what they will do, there's going to be new, what I'll call touchless forms of communication. So it'll be barcodes, QR codes or whatnot that'll be used to establish, to link you to like a visa and a passport database that will also include like your COVID-19 vaccine information. So they're going to link all that together, visas, passport, into like a QR code.
Okay. Will Val Demings run for Rubio's Senate seat, and will she win? Well, she is going to run for Rubio's Senate seat.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's already announced that she's throwing her hat in the ring.
Right.
Yeah, they're telling me she will win, and it's going to be it's going to be a horse race. So it's going to be right down to the wire.
Okay.
Counting the last vote. You know what I mean? Almost like a Trump thing where they fight every vote, and she'll win. Yeah.
Okay. Has 45 CFO turned on him? Is he working with the New York AG or the FBI?
Yes. Already working on the construct of a deal. It's interesting. I got this a couple of days ago, but what's going on is the whole 45, the whole Trump organization is now going under review, under criminal review. So now, yes, everybody has now got a big stake in the game. They want to avoid prison. The answer is yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. What was the third secret of Fatima?
Can you ask that question again?
What was the third secret of Fatima?
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy sometimes, right? Alex for 500. Yeah, I think that goes back a long time ago. And what they're telling me, like those were secrets that were like revealed to shepherds or something. But what I get on that is it was all related to world wars. So like there were three secrets. The first two, I believe, were like World War I and World War II, like forecasting that was going to happen. But the third one, that actually has to do with the danger of nuclear war in the world. So not that it's going to happen, but it's a warning of the danger that we've got to get a lot of things together on this planet. So what they're telling me is that that third reference or that third secret is the reference to the potential that could happen with nuclear war if we don't take care of it. Yeah.
GOP,
Heavier.
okay. GOP governors want to remove 300 a week unemployment benefit. Will people in these states get angry and vote blue under the Biden administration?
No. Well, first off, it looks like that benefit's going to stick around for a while. And like we said earlier, there are some people that are coming from a perspective either white supremacy or the election was a fraud. So those people won't change, but some people will. But the benefit's going to stay. So the kind of question is a little, the construct of the question may be self-defeating. Yeah.
Right. What future do you see with the food service and retail industry? Will they increase employee wages?
They will, and that gets around to the effects of the minimum wage. But what I also see is like two big forces going on around like the food service industry. One is increased automation, so it'll be like less need for, let's say, manpower. But then there's also another big component there moving towards a green economy. So some of those jobs around food services will move towards sustainable green foods, that kind of a thing. So it'll be a shift. So like two major shifts in the industry and the minimizing of some of the jobs as we see them today, they'll shift. So.
Okay. Is it possible even, I think McDonald's went up to $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
What future, oh wait, is it possible to ask your spirit guides too many questions? Do they get frustrated?
No, no. That they're in it for the long haul. All your angels and guides in it for the long haul. What's interesting about spiritual guides is that they many times were human beings that walked the planet thousands of years ago, and they've actually evolved through many reincarnations. But what's interesting is they're in it with you hand to hand. So when you win, they win. When you learn, they learn. So they're really into it. So you can't ask too many questions. They're in it with you. Yeah.
Are there white supremacists in heaven? You can't be judgmental and go to heaven.
Yeah, everything on earth is all about a life lesson. And so you don't take, white supremacy does not live on the love side per se. So you don't get that kind of racial strife in heaven. You certainly take some of the lessons you learned, let's say a white supremacist here on earth, but you don't take that fear, that evil, that anger, that doesn't go with you into heaven, no.
Okay. Alien abductees are often found to have implants like patient 17. Are they abducting people against their will? Why would they try to do this if they are good beings?
Well, there's a bit of a contract there. I know a number of families that get abducted, it goes back many years, hundreds of years, even thousands of years, that they've agreed to kind of be followed and work with extraterrestrials. The implants they're referring to, and by the way, I think patient 17 was the reference there in that question.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
That was a famous, that drove one scientist to write a number of books about famous patient 17, but the implants are also for communication. So it's not, it helps somehow with communicating with extraterrestrials. It's almost like a walkie-talkie. Yeah.
Okay. That guy that speaks at Sedona, he won't be there for us, but the guy that runs Sedona was telling me about him. He's a speaker, he's ex-military. And he said they were at Sedona and they went up to where all my guests are going. And there's this one particular person, if this person is with them, guaranteed to get a UFO, pretty good size. It's
there are a lot of them around.
Attracted to that person.
Yeah, there are a lot of them around the Sedona area. Many. It's another airport in the nation, right? In the world, there are several major airports. So.
Well, I was surprised about Catalina Island being a big home. They living in the caves underneath the ground there. Okay, anything new in politics in Canada?
Well, like a lot of things in Canada, the effects of the economy, help drive what's going on in politics too. What I do see is, so Canada has, conservative and some of the same kind of construct we have here in the US, but I see a much larger, like, Green Party, and I guess they call a New Democratic Party being much more influential in politics to help shift the economy over to be more of a green economy in Canada, less fundamentally, based on fossil fuels and oil and petroleum. So my answer to that is I see at least the new Democratic Party, the new Green Party or the Green Party becoming much more active. Yeah.
That's great. What is the purpose of fasting for prayer? How does this physiologic effects of fasting impact the spirit?
Yeah. And fasting is used around a lot of religions worldwide. What my team tells me is that what that really does, it demonstrates a commitment to task. So it's a level of commitment, but to be honest, it's not required. So like you know more or no less if you don't fast.
Right.
Many religions do support it. I get it, but it's all about what you feel is your level of commitment to it. Helps you on your journey.
Right. Helps you to focus. Yeah.
Right.
Anything for next week?
I do see a number of things coming up. I mean, I see a continuation of the wildfire activity. We've got a much earlier, fire season going on around the U.S. and certainly California. That's going to continue. It looks like there's a continuation of violence that's related to like the Middle East violence. So, the sentiment that occurred over in the Middle East is spilling over other areas of the world, parts of Europe, the U.S., riots and things going on. I do see that happening. I do see in a big way what's happening in 45's business organization is now going to really start to hit a major collapse because now, it's now become a criminal investigation, not just in, and what you're going to see is a lot of internal insiders in the 45 organization start to now speak publicly because everybody's trying to avoid prison. So, it's like, get in line, take a number to make a deal. It's like, and the level of information you have determines what kind of deal you get.
Right.
I do see all that. Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be a very interesting week. Cool.
I love it. Thank you, my friend. I'll be up there. Tell Linda to write me if something comes up because I have internet. It's not that great up there. Tell Linda to write me if something comes up. So also, I wanted to ask this question because it wasn't in here. I just want to throw it by you. Did you saw all that business, how he wants to change the postal? And my psychic energy was he won't have a chance. But I just want to double check with you.
Yeah, no, I think you're asking, will he be able to continue on and do the things
to do this stuff that he's doing?
No. What I get on that is, the Biden organization is going through what I call a punch list. So you can't do everything all at once, but they're going through a punch list. Part of that punch list will be his removal and replacement, and they're going to restore the post office to where it's supposed to be. So, it's all.
The post office, the employees are complaining about him. It's just horrible the things he wants to do.
Yeah.
And they only have one more person to put in. They've already got two. They need one more from the Biden administration. And then those people can bump him out. But this thing he's talking about has to be approved by the postal people, and it won't be.
Right.
Okay. And last but not least, do you have any information that your guides want to share?
I do. The message for this week is share your wisdom. Like no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, share your wisdom because it helps those around you, and they need it. They need to hear it. So don't be shy. It's a matter of spreading love, but share the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom you have. It will help those around you.
Okay. Thank you so much, my friend. And
always a pleasure.
I'll see you the 13th.
You will? Absolutely.
Okay, you guys. Thank you. Bye.